Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Mercedes and this is the Frugal Life with Mercedes. Today I am going to just kind of discuss some stuff that's been going on. I posted a video about my car insurance going up, and then today on my way to work the brake light came on and said get serviced now. So I called my mechanic, and that turned into like a whole big thing. Luckily, that was a cheap, easy fix. It wasn't a big deal at all. I won't get into all of that because I was like, but I've had my car this August for 9 years. I bought it brand new, and I've had it paid off. Is it 3 years? Yeah, I think April I've had it paid off for 3 years, which is awesome. But it is going to be time to get another car before too long. My car has a ton of miles on it, and in the 9 years I've had it, I've only had to do like routine maintenance. That's why I got so freaked out about like this, because I was like, my car's never, like, none of the sensor lights have ever come on like that, like, except you know what I mean. And I'm really good about going in for the oil changes and the maintenance and all that kind of stuff. So I've had to have things fixed on the car and replaced, but just like routine kind of stuff. So I've known for part of my lifestyle, and I'm sure a lot of other people's, is the planning for things. It's like the car that you currently drive is probably not going to be the car you drive for the rest of your life, depending. So of course it's like I knew that the time was going to come. So luckily my car is still drivable and she's fine and all that, and it's really emotional because I've only ever owned 3 cars in my life, and this was the first car that I bought brand new. Every single mile on her I put on. I bought her when I was in a really terrible place mentally. And as you guys can see, I'm getting teary-eyed, and I understand that it's just a car. But, I was going through some stuff, and I got into, like, the only car accident I've ever been into, and the car that I was driving was totaled. And at the time I was like, oh my gosh, it's the chickens again. But at the time it was just like, I was like, this is the last thing that I need. This is the last thing that I need. And so I picked it out and I got exactly what I wanted, and she's been, and I remember when the day I bought her, I was like, please God, let this be a reliable car. I was like, please let this be a reliable car. Let this be for the next big chapter, and let her last me a long time. And she has, and she's seen me through some stuff, you know what I mean? And just the you guys know, I'm sure that there's things in your life, whether it be owning a home, or having health insurance after not having health insurance for a long time, or reliable car, or whatever it is. You can relate, you know what I mean? Like, everybody can relate in some way. So for me, it's like a whole big thing of independence. Because when I bought her, I've always been a very independent person, but I was in a situation like 9 years ago where I put my trust in somebody, and it blew up dramatically in my face. And I was self-sufficient but not enough to be able to leave that situation. And so then that's where a lot of this stuff comes from. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of the things that I talk about is I want everybody to be self-sufficient. And when I say self-sufficient, you know, a lot of people think that means like gardening in the backyard and, you know, canning vegetables and all that. And that is self-sufficiency, but I'm referring to like, you know, you live within your means, you know, whether it's from a job or some sort of source of income, you know, disability, SSI, you know, whatever it is, however you make your income, and living within that and having stability with that. And so that car represents like a big portion of, you know, my adult years. And and I get it's just a car, and you know, I'm really not a super materialistic person, so it is just a car, but at the same time it's like, thank you for being so reliable, and thank you for being so awesome. And you know, I couldn't have asked for a better car, because even if you buy a brand new car, I know people who have bought brand new cars, you know, drove them off the lot, and they ended up being lemons, and they ended up being, you know, money pits for whatever reason. You know, that kind of thing does happen, and that was my concern. But driving off the lot with my car initially 9 years ago, I felt so powerful, and I felt so independent and self-sufficient. And I remember my dad went with me. He drove me. And so we're like looking around the car lot, and the guy comes up and he's like talking to my dad, and my dad's like, well, you know, my daughter's going to get a car. And the salesperson thought my dad was buying the car for me, you know, so he's like conversating with my father, and my dad goes, oh no, he's like, this is her show. He's like, I'm here to chauffeur her around and buy her lunch. And that's something that always stuck with me. It's like, my dad is not one to give unsolicited advice, or, you know, he wasn't going to let me get taken advantage of. But the whole point of, you know, he asked me, what do you need from me? I said, I literally need you just to drive me. And, you know, and if I have any questions, you know, and he did that. And, you know, he made sure that the salesman knew, like, this is her show. You know, she's the one that's running this, not me. And, you know, after that, the car salesman, respected that, and, you know, deferred all the questions to me. And, you know, it was scary. It was really scary at the time. But anyway, it's a big, long thing, but it is going to be time, you know, and I've been thinking about it for a little while. So the days of my car are winding down, and she's still safe to drive and all that, but I just don't want to get to the point where she's breaking down and all that, and I know that time is gonna be upon us. So all that to say, you know, I do have money set aside for procuring a new car, but I haven't decided what I'm going to get and all that, you know, and then also with shortages and everything, I don't know what's going to be available, but, you know, it's just overwhelming. So I'm still like processing everything, and, you know, and I'm that kind of person, like, I really, like, I have to process, you know, a little bit so that I'm not too overwhelmed. And so I do have money set aside for that. And you guys know, if you've been with me, I'm not an extravagant person by any means, but I am going to be cutting back spending, you know, a bit. And so we're going to call it like Frugal Girl Spring, Frugal Girl, you know, summer. See what else we can cut out. And And the other thing is like when you already are frugal, you know, whether it is a necessity or just the way that you live, um, there's not much to cut out. Do you know what I mean? Like there really isn't that much to cut out. I have one subscription, like at all, and that's to Paramount Plus, and that was so that I could, you know, watch my. I really love Yellowstone and 1883 and 1923, and so I was watching the season of 1923, the first one. So like I don't have subscriptions to things at all. You know, I have been getting I got a few tattoos in the, you know, last few months, but all that was money that was set aside for that. Like I had, you know what I mean? Like that there was a category in my savings that was for that. So those were paid for in cash, and they're all, you know, good to go. And I get my nails done. You know what I mean? Like it's not, you know, I don't even get my hair cut I haven't had my hair cut professionally in like a decade. Like I do that at home. You know, there's not really too much that I can cut out, but we're gonna see what we can do. And I'm doing fine. Like I said, I have, you know, a nest egg saved up, and I have a reliable job, and I've got a, you know, a good, you know, home situation and all that. But we're just gonna be tightening up the belt a little bit, because I would feel more comfortable with more of a cushion as far as the car situation, you know, and just my savings in general. I don't think it ever hurts. Like nobody's ever like, man, I wish I hadn't saved that, you know, I wish I didn't have that extra however much in savings. You know what I mean? Like I don't think people really say that. So this Sunday I have a tattoo appointment. I have one sunflower that needs to be colored on the back, and I already made that appointment, and that's already paid for, and the money's been allotted and all that. Sorry about that, guys. My brother came out and asked if I was filming, and he's going to play basketball, but I told him just give me a couple more minutes. Oh, what was I saying? So that money's already allotted. So basically I'm going to sit down and I'm going to see, you know, what I can cut out. But there's really not too much, as far as I know. One thing I'm not planning on cutting out is getting my nails done. I do that twice a month, and the reason I'm not cutting it out is it's literally one of my favorite things. And for some people it is frivolous and unnecessary, but I didn't get my nails done for like 4 years while I was, you know, paying off the debt. And I remember that like right before I became debt free, like a couple of months beforehand, I was like, I'm gonna start getting my nails done. I was like, I haven't bought anything. I've been busting my butt, and it's, you know, they bring me joy. And you guys know I talk about that, like what are the, you know, it doesn't have to make sense to anybody else, it only has to make sense to you. And getting my nails done is not going to prevent me from, you know, saving money overall, especially if I'm going to be cutting out some other things. But there's not really too much to cut out. I go out to eat occasionally, you know what I mean? Like I do buy clothes at the thrift store secondhand, you know, all those kinds of things. So we're going to see what we can do, and I will do an update and let you guys know what all I cut out and how much that's saving me. And then we're gonna see how that all pans out. But again, I'm fine, and my car is completely drivable and safe. It was just a little like, you know, it's like, it was like a jolt this morning. I was like, oh crap. I'm like, I don't need this morning. You know what I mean? And I was like, my shoulders and my neck were all like, you know what I mean? And I was like, my eye is like twitching. I was like, oh, come on. But, oh, and before I forget, this is my Shroot Farms, one of my Shroot Farms t-shirts. If you guys didn't, well, I guess you guys probably wouldn't know, but I love The Office. And so I have a bunch of pajama shirts that I got in the men's section at Target, and I actually paid full price for them, but they were, you know, like $12 a piece, and I bought them over time. I might even gotten some of them with gift cards or something. So yeah, my Shroot Farms one, beat one. So yeah, but thank you guys so much for watching, and please consider subscribing, and until next time, bye.